The three biggest mistakes beginners make in the gym and how to mitigate those mistakes and generate solutions. I'm Max with Max Performance. And in today's video, we're going to go over just that, the three biggest mistakes I think beginners make in the gym, plus a couple bonus kind of tips, bonus tidbits of information, of wisdom. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll get into it. Sorry, I'm kind of tired right now. It's been a couple weeks since I made a video, and I'm trying to get back into the habit of doing it. So training's been going pretty good, though. So sometimes when one thing's going good, you feel like you don't have to do the other thing. But I'm trying to get back into the habit. So let's jump on to the first mistake I see. So focusing too much on bicep curls and not enough on back squats. Now, you can replace bicep curl with some other isolation exercise and then back squats with some other compound lift. But I use the bicep curl back squat analogy because this is something I can physically see people in the gym doing, and I've seen it for a decade probably, where, you know, I see them in there, they're blasting arms all the time, they're working on their biceps, but I never seen them put a bar on their back. Not that you have to put a bar on your back, but basically the point of this is like, you're stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. Like, if you want to get huge, back squat, deadlift, bench press. Like, I'm not saying that there's not a place for bicep curls in your routine, but you probably shouldn't, even if you want huge arms or a huge upper body, you probably shouldn't be prioritizing bicep curls over big compound lifts. And people might not understand this, but I mean, if you can squat 400 pounds, your arms are going to be big. You have to support the weight. If you've ever had 300 pounds on your back, you're going to realize that your arms are naturally going to grow just to support that load. So I'm not saying that back squats are going to make your arms humongous. Obviously, they're going to need some special attention and some specific kind of stimulus, but it's like, bottom line, if you want to get huge, if you really want to get big and strong and more athletic and explosive, then prioritize compound lifts, specifically something like a back squat that so many people are going to avoid because it's hard and it hurts and it's not initially incredibly fun. It takes time. It's something that has to grow on you. So make sure you're doing your back squats, and that doesn't mean, again, not to do your bicep curls. And a good solution to this, and I made a video about this, and I used to do this myself with my friends in colleges. We do push pull legs, and on our leg day, we'd combine it with like a blasting arms session afterwards. So you hit your legs, and the nice thing is you feel pretty pumped and good and warmed up and strong after you hit your legs because you just have had a relatively heavy load on your back, and you're holding that load with your, you know what I mean? And then you go and blast arms, you're super warmed up for it, and you get a great arm pump, great arm session afterwards. So try something like that out. And I mean, even if you're already hitting arms during the week, you could still hit arms on leg day. Like, this is going to come to another point I have about some of the biggest mistakes, but hitting your body parts or lifts frequently throughout the week, like, most people can sustain a lot more frequency and volume than they've been led on to believe. Like, obviously you have to recover, but when it comes to lifting, sometimes more is more. So we're going to move on from point one, and basically the solution to skipping out on back squats to bicep curl is just do your back squats first and then bicep curl. And again, it's like it could be, you know, bent over row and tricep extension. I don't know, but it's like you can kind of mix and match the two. Second point is basically people trying to add too much weight to the bar too fast, and basically what they do is they sacrifice good technical, like good technique. They sacrifice good technique and range of motion to add weight to the bar. You should only be adding weight to the bar when your technique and range of motion can sustain more weight on the bar. And that's a huge mistake people make, is they think they have to add weight even if they're not ready to add weight. You'll learn, if you stick around long enough with the lifting weights thing, you'll learn pretty soon that it takes time. It just takes time for your body to adapt, especially if you're going to do this thing naturally. So basically, the slower and more methodically you can progress with weight, the better, and the more you're going to get out of it. And it's kind of funny. It's like the lighter you start, and the lighter you start with good technique, the faster you'll get to heavy weights with good technique. But the more you're impatient and just trying to push, and trying to add weight to the bar that you should not be adding weight to the bar, you're going to stall out faster than you'll even know. And I've run into this problem for years where I just like, oh, I just need to add more weight to the bar. It's like, no, dude, you need to maybe add volume, add more sets and reps with reasonable amounts of weight, and then the heavier weights will come. But basically, don't try to add weight to the bar when you're not ready for it. You want, for the most part in your training, you want your reps to be pretty smooth and fast and explosive. I'm not saying you shouldn't grind sometimes, and like some of the like sets or the reps later in your sets, especially if you're doing like AMRAP sets or higher rep sets, aren't going to be difficult. But it's like you want most of your reps to look good. You want to be doing good technical practice, and you don't want to be killing yourself every single set, every single rep. It's just not sustainable. So again, my solution to this one is kind of like stick with weights that are relatively manageable for you, but just add more sets and add more reps, add more days that you're doing those exercises, add more overall volume, and slowly add weight to the bar. And I promise, as you add more sets and reps and frequency, the weight will come. You'll just naturally be able to do it because your body it's adapting. It's having to adapt to more volume, and it's like that's the stimulus it needs to actually get to heavier weights. So give that a shot. We'll move on to point number 3, and that is not training movements, body parts frequently enough. So I'm a big proponent of push-pull legs 2 times a week for beginners. That's 6 days on, 1 day off, where you're kind of resting different things on different days that you're training. A lot of people will say that's too much. It's not. You'll make incredible gains doing basically like depending on if you want to call it like hitting chest 2 days a week, hitting legs 2 days a week, hitting back 2 or 3 days a week. Like you can sustain a lot more volume than you think. The biggest issue is complying with the program you're on. So like, let's say for example, you're trying to squat 2 days a week and you're having a hard time squatting 1 day a week. Well, then you're probably not going to be squatting 2 days a week yet. Like you need to be compliant with the program before you can add more. So less is more sometimes when it comes to lifting weights. Depending on if you can recover from it, sometimes more is more. The more you do, the better you get. If you shoot 100 shots a week, basketball shots, versus 1,000 basketball shots a week, as long as you can recover from the 1,000, you're going to be a better shooter shooting 1,000 shots a week. Very similar to doing reps and sets with different barbell movements or whatever movement. You know what I mean? Sometimes more is more as long as you can recover from it. And if you're young and you're in school and you don't have a family and you don't have a job and you don't have all these different responsibilities and things that you want to do all the time or have to do, you probably have you probably can recover from a lot more than people are probably leading you on to believe. So I guess the point of this is add more frequency to your lifts, to your body parts, as long as you're going to be compliant with that program and as long as you feel like you can recover. And again, if you're pretty young, like 16, 17, 18, even to like 25, you can probably do way more than you think. Just give it a shot, and I guarantee you're going to grow. Your strength might not go up a ton, but you will grow and you will get huge. That's how you get big, is you add frequency to your training. That's easiest way to put on a ton of size, is just do more. So that's point number 3, is train more frequently, basically. And okay, so those are the 3 points. We're going to go on to the bonus point. And this might go without saying, but if you're not training consistently and if you're not on a good program and you're not planning out your work, then things are probably not going to go as well as they can be. So point being, and I'm not going to drive it home too hard, but be consistent, have a plan, and schedule your training, I'd say at least a week out, if not bi-weekly. Like, see what you have on your calendar. If you can train the same time, the same days every week, that's all the better. Once you get busy with life, sometimes that's not always realistic, and you got to feel it out a little bit. But basically, just plan your training, have a plan, and go and execute that plan and have goals. Having goals is a huge part of it. And that's something that I've lacked on a lot throughout my training, is not having goals and just kind of aimlessly training. Have numbers in mind, have quantitative goals you can hit, and even better, have a plan on how you're going to incrementally achieve those quantitative goals. So those are my 3 points. That's the bonus point. We'll wrap it up. We're at the 10-minute mark. I'm Max with Max Performance. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. More content to come. I've been training some training shorts along with some more informative long format videos. So there's going to be more to come consistently. Have a good one.